What you're about to watch was never meant to reach the internet. Never. Police found the motorcycle near an abandoned military base early one morning. The bike was standing in the middle of a dirt road, intact, not a single scratch. Key in the ignition. Headlight on, even though the battery should have died 6 hours earlier. Engine cold. The rider was never found. They searched for 3 days. The dogs lost the trail 20 meters from the motorcycle. They just stopped, whimpered, and refused to go any further. There was an action camera mounted on the helmet. Memory card intact. The last 23 minutes of footage. No one can explain. 2 detectives who watched the video took leave and refused to discuss the case. If you scare easily, close this video now, because what comes next will stay with you forever. His name was Max, 32 years old. Engineer. He loved speed and solitary night rides through the forest. For him, it was meditation. The road, the fog, the engine's rumble. He was returning home from the city. It was late, past 11 in the evening. The main highway was closed for repairs, so he decided to turn onto an old forest road. A shortcut he'd taken hundreds of times. Dirt road, but smooth. 20 minutes and he'd be home. The chest-mounted camera captures everything. The speedometer needle, the edge of the handlebars, the road ahead. Day slowly transitions to evening. The sky darkens. First blue, then purple, then ink black. Trees on both sides grow denser, their crowns closing above the road, turning it into a tunnel. He rides calmly, 70 kilometers per hour. Engine sounds steady, calming. Sometimes he passes through puddles. Water splashes hit the camera lens. But something's wrong. If you listen carefully, the forest is too quiet. No birds singing before sunset. No wind rustling. Not even insects buzzing. The sky darkens faster than it should. In 3 minutes, from twilight to almost complete darkness.
Unnatürlich fast.
He turns on the headlight. The beam cuts through gray fog creeping from the sides of the road. The fog is thick, like milk. It doesn't dissipate from wind, because there is no wind. It just hangs between the trees, slowly advancing onto the road. Max slows to 50. Visibility maybe 10 meters. The camera captures the speedometer reading 10:47 p.m. He should be home in 15 minutes. And then the first sign. On the right, nailed to an old oak tree. A wooden board with white letters. This is not the right road. He slows down, looks at the sign. The board is fresh. Paint hasn't peeled. But he drove here a week ago. There was no sign. The camera zooms in. On the board, you can see fingerprints in the white paint, as if someone painted this with their hands. Recently, Max stops. Engine idling. The silence around becomes louder. That kind of silence that presses on your eardrums. He looks at the GPS navigator on the handlebars. It shows his position. Blue dot on the road line. Everything normal. But suddenly the map jerks. The dot jumps left, straight into the forest. Then right. Then disappears completely. Screen flickers. Signal lost. Searching for satellites. Max resets the navigator. Technical glitch. Happens. He knows the road by heart. He gives it some gas. The motorcycle moves forward. The fog becomes even thicker. The headlight illuminates only 3 meters ahead. Trees on the sides look wrong. Trunks twisted. Branches reaching toward the road, as if trying to grab something. He turns on music. Bluetooth speaker in his jacket. Should play the playlist he always listens to on the road. But instead of music, silence. Then crackling. Then a voice. Distorted. Low. Neither male nor female. A voice that sounds like it's coming through water. You're already close.
Max breaks hard.
The motorcycle skids, camera shakes. He stops in the middle of the road. Heart pounding. You can hear it on the recording. He takes out his phone. Unlocks the screen. On the phone screen, a message. But not a normal one. It fills the entire screen. Black background. White letters. A format that doesn't exist in any messenger. One new message from you behind. Max stares at the text. His hand trembles. The camera captures how the phone screen shakes. He doesn't tap on the message. He slowly turns his head. Rearview mirror. The fog behind is thick as a wall, but in it a contour, a figure, tall, motionless, standing in the middle of the road about 20 meters back. Right in the center of the lane. Max looks in the mirror for 5 seconds. The figure doesn't move, just stands, doesn't breathe, doesn't sway. Like a mannequin, he turns around, wants to look directly, but when he turns his head back to the mirror, the figure is closer. 10 meters closer. It didn't walk. It just appeared closer. Instantly, panicked breathing. Max twists the throttle and the motorcycle lurches forward. Headlight jumps along the road. Speed building. 60, 70, 80. He races through the fog. Trees fly past. Dark blurs at the edges of the screen. The road narrows. Potholes, roots, stones. But he doesn't slow down. Speedometer shows 95 kilometers per hour. On a dirt road, in fog, he looks in the mirror again. And it's there. The figure, 5 meters behind, gliding after the motorcycle. Not running, sliding, effortlessly, soundlessly. Fog parts before it. Max screams. The scream is drowned out by the engine roar at high RPMs. He throttles harder, but the bike is already at its limit. Any faster on this road means death. And suddenly the camera picks up a sound. Not from outside. Inside the helmet. Through the microphone. Breathing. Heavy, wet. Someone is breathing right by his ear. But there's only Max in the helmet. He's alone. Don't ride faster. I'll catch you anyway. The same voice. Distorted. It echoes inside his head. Max jerks the handlebars left and right, trying to shake off the voice, the breathing, the presence. But it doesn't disappear. The breathing becomes more frequent, heard right behind his neck. The road ends. Not gradually. Suddenly. The forest parts, and before him an open field. Dry grass. And in the middle a building. Old military base. 2-story concrete structure without windows. Barbed wire on the fence rusted, torn in places. Metal gates half closed. Behind them faint yellow light, as if someone is standing with a candle deep inside. Max brakes so hard the rear wheel slides. He barely keeps balance. Stops 10 meters from the gates. Engine running. Headlight shining on the gates. Fresh white paint on them. Large uneven letters. You are already here. He looks around. The road behind is empty. No figure. Fog dissipated. Only darkness. But the figure didn't disappear. It's just waiting. Max sits on the motorcycle, engine idling. Breathing heavy. Camera shakes in rhythm with his heartbeat. He stares at the building. Logic says turn around and ride. Anywhere. But the road behind feels wrong. As if something stands there in the darkness and waits. The phone vibrates. He looks at the screen. New message. Turn off the engine. Come inside. I'll show you something. Sender the one who waits. Max wants to throw the phone, but his fingers press read on their own. Screen goes dark, and at that moment the engine dies. By itself. Key in the on position, but the motor stops. Headlight blinks twice and goes out. Complete darkness. Only that faint yellow light behind the gates. Max gets off the motorcycle. Legs barely hold. Camera captures the ground, then the gates. He walks slowly. Gravel crunches under his boots. The only sound in the universe. He approaches the gates. Metal cold. Old hinges covered in rust. He touches the gates with his palm, and they open by themselves. Without a creak. Without resistance. Smoothly as if just oiled. Behind the gates, a courtyard. Concrete, cracks, weeds. On the right, the derelict building. Metal entrance doors, no handle. Chalk writing on them. Enter. Quickly. The camera turns. Max looks back at the gates. They've closed. He didn't hear a sound. They're just closed now. Heart beating so loud it's audible on the recording. Max approaches the doors. Touches the metal. The doors are warm. Impossible but true. As if fire burns behind them. He pushes. Doors open. Darkness inside absolute. Camera switches to night mode. Green grainy image. Corridor. Long walls peeling. On the floor, puddles of water. Or something else. Max enters. Doors close behind him. Lock clicks. He turns on the phone flashlight. Beam trembles. Hand won't obey. Light picks out details. Walls covered in mold. Ceiling collapsed in places. On the floor, tracks. Bare feet. Many tracks. All leading deeper into the corridor. He walks. Steps echo. Each step, 2 echoes. As if someone walks beside him. On the left, a door. He stops by it. Sign on the door, archive. He pushes. Locked, but through the gap, light visible. Red. He continues. 5 meters later, another door. Operating room. Also locked. But from behind the door, a sound. Monotonous beeping. Like a ventilator. Then the beeping cuts off. Silence. Max quickens his pace. Corridor turns right, and he enters a hall. Large room. Once a warehouse or garage. High ceiling. In the middle, a table. On the table, a candle. It's burning. And on the walls, photographs. Dozens of photographs. Pinned directly to the concrete. Max approaches closer. Flashlight illuminates each photo. All identical in composition. Motorcyclist on the road. Shot from the side. Evening or night. Different people. Different motorcycles. Harleys, Yamahas, Kawasaki's. Men, women. Old photos black and white, new ones in color. He reads the captions under the photos. Dates. But the dates are in the future. November 15th, 2025. December 3rd, 2025. January 22nd, 2026. Max looks at the calendar on his phone. Today is November 7th, 2025. These photos haven't been taken yet. Cannot have been taken. And then he sees his photo. In the lower right corner. Fresh as if printed an hour ago. Himself. On his motorcycle. On this road. Tonight. That same fog in the background. Under the photo, an inscription. November 7th, 2025. Max Kovalchuk. Last ride. Max backs away from the wall. Camera shakes. He's approaching a panic attack. Breathing erratic. He turns to the candle. Wants to leave. But behind him, a sound. Knocking. Slow. Wooden. As if someone taps a stick on the floor. Knock. 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 He shines the flashlight into the darkness beyond the table. Another corridor there. The sound comes from there. And between knocks, footsteps. Someone walking. Slowly. Confidently. The knocking becomes faster. Knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Max runs to the exit. Camera bounces. Fragments of walls, ceiling, floor. He bursts into the corridor he came from. Runs to the door. But there is no door. Instead, a concrete wall. Solid. No seams. As if the door never existed. He pounds the wall with his fists. Screams. Words unintelligible. Pure fear. Camera captures the wall centimeters from the lens. On the wall, fresh writing. Red. As if drawn with a finger in something wet. Now you are a photo. Behind Max, a step. One. Very close. He turns. A figure stands 3 meters away. In the flashlight beam, only a silhouette visible. Tall. Too tall. 8 feet. Thin. Arms long, reaching the knees. Head tilted to the side. At an unnatural angle. As if the neck is broken. Max screams. Steps back. His back hits the wall. The figure takes a step. Slowly. Foot falls on concrete without sound. Flashlight flickers. Once. Twice. Goes out. Darkness. Camera switches to night mode. Green grainy image. And in this image, the figure right in front of Max's face. Face without features. Smooth. Like a wax mask. Instead of eyes, black voids. Deep. Endless. Mouth a thin line. Slowly opening. Spreading from ear to ear. From the mouth, a whisper. Many voices at once. Don't run. You're already here. Forever. With us. Max slides along the wall. Tries to run past the figure. But it instantly appears before him. Didn't move. Just was where he wanted to be. He falls. Camera hits the floor. Image spins. We see Max's legs. He crawls backward. See the figure approaching. Moves and jerks like in a film with skipped frames. The figure bends down. Long arm reaches for the camera. Fingers thin with extra joints. They touch the lens. Screen flashes white. Image returns. Camera now lying on its side. We see the corridor. Max running. Stumbles. Falls. Gets up. Runs further. Scream breaks into wheezing. Behind him the figure glides. Feet don't touch the floor. It hangs in the air 6 inches above concrete. Arms drag along walls, leaving wet trails. Max runs back into the hall with the candle. Looks around. No exit. Only that corridor where the figure came from. Candle on the table suddenly goes out. Complete darkness. Camera loses image for a second. Switches to infrared mode. In this mode, visible. The hall is full. 20, 30 figures. All identical. Tall, faceless. Standing motionless along the walls. Looking at Max. He stands in the middle. Turns around. Wherever he looks, they're there. And then they all simultaneously take a step toward him. Max throws himself at the table. Overturns it. Grabs the candle. It flares up again by itself. In the candlelight, the figures vanish. As if they weren't there. But shadows on the walls move. Independent of the light source. Shadows creep closer. A voice sounds from everywhere. You knew you shouldn't take this road. The sign warned you, but you didn't listen. Max holds the candle before him. Looks around. Everyone who rides after midnight ends up here. Everyone becomes a photo. Everyone becomes us. Shadows close in. Form a circle. Candle flickers. Flame turns blue. You will ride this road forever. Every night. Searching for an exit. Not finding one. And bringing others. Max throws the candle. Runs into darkness. Camera records chaos. Fragments of walls. Faceless faces flash and disappear. Hands reach from darkness. Cold fingers touch face, neck, chest. He runs into the corridor. Sees light ahead. A door. It's open. He runs toward it. Bursts into the courtyard. Gates open. Motorcycle standing where he left it. Headlight on. Max runs up. Gets on. Turns the key. Engine starts first try. He throttles. Motorcycle lurches toward the gates. Exits onto the road. The road is different now. Asphalt. Markings. Street lights along the edges. Normal highway. He accelerates. 80, 100, 120 kilometers per hour. Wind hits the camera. Engine sound normal. Max laughs. From relief. From shock. He survived. He got out. Ahead, a sign. Forest Village 5 kilometers. He knows this village. It's near his town. He's going home. But then he looks in the rearview mirror and sees himself behind on another motorcycle, riding behind him, his own face, but the eyes, black voids. Max looks forward, back to the mirror. The other him is closer, smiling, smile too wide. He brakes hard, turns around. No road behind, only forest, dense, and fog, and himself standing between the trees, looking at himself on the motorcycle, slowly waving. Max looks forward. No road there either, only forest. He's standing on a motorcycle in the middle of the forest. No road, no exit. Around him, darkness, and hundreds of figures between the trees, all looking at him. Engine suddenly dies. Headlight goes out. Silence. And then all the figures simultaneously speak in his voice. Now you're one of us. You will ride this road. Every night. Forever. Waiting for the next one. Camera falls. Impact on ground. Image cracks. We see sky through branches. No stars. Camera lies on the ground. Above, sounds of struggle. Scream. Then something heavy falls nearby. Max. He lies motionless. Eyes open. Looking at the camera. But in the eyes, emptiness. Black voids. Figure bends over him. Touches forehead with long finger. Max's body jerks. Begins to rise. Movements unnatural. In jerks. Like a puppet. He stands. Turns to the camera. Max's face. But it's different. Expression empty. Mouth slowly spreads into a smile. He bends to the camera. Takes it. Brings it to his face. Into the lens look those black voids instead of eyes. Max's voice, but distorted. I'll wait on the road. The next one will come soon. They always come after midnight. Camera turns. Now we see forest behind. Ahead, the road. That same dirt road. Fog. And the sign. This is not the right road. Camera mounted on something. Motionless. We see the road. Fog. Silence. Time on the recording shows 1:47 a.m. A minute passes. 2. Nothing happens. Then from afar, a sound. Motorcycle engine. Approaching. Headlight flashes in the fog. Motorcycle emerges from around the bend. Riding slowly. Ordinary night ride.
Camera zooms in.
On the motorcycle, a woman. About 30. Helmet. camera on chest. She passes the sign, doesn't look at it, continues riding, and behind her in the fog, Max stands, watching, waiting, smiling that too wide smile. The recording continues, but we already know, she won't make it home tonight. None of them do, not after midnight, not on this road. The road that doesn't exist on any map. The road that finds you. The road where every rider becomes a photograph, becomes part of the collection, becomes the one who waits. The camera keeps recording, forever, capturing each new arrival, each new photo for the wall, each new voice joining the chorus in the darkness. This is not the right road. But by the time you see the sign, it's already too late. You're already here. You've always been here, and you always will be.